Hi guys, my name is Tamara and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for continuing to watch my videos. Today, we're going to talk about feeling like a failure. And this is a feeling that so many people have experienced. Did you know that statistics show that 49% of Americans agree that the fear of failure has prevented them from achieving some of their goals? And 40% of persons between the ages of 27 to 42 years old are afraid of failure. So this is a pretty significant issue. Now, before we go any further, drop a comment below. Have you felt this feeling, being afraid of failure? And if so, what did you do to kind of overcome that feeling? Share below so we all can learn. Now, we're going to examine 7 reasons why people feel like a failure and ways that we can fix them. Now, reason number 1, unrealistic expectations. I think so many of us suffer from this, right? We expect to be perfect in everything that we do, and that is just not realistic. When we don't achieve perfection, then we start to feel like we're failing, right? To fix this, we need to set realistic expectations for ourselves. I personally have a saying that perfection is never required because all of us are human and we all make mistakes, right? So, what we need to do is learn from those mistakes so we can do better moving forward. Reason number 2, exhaustion and burnout. When we are exhausted, we may feel like we just don't have the energy to work towards our goals. And when we're not working towards our goals, we may feel like we're not making any progress, we're not going to live up to our full potential, and this will result sometimes in feelings of being a failure. To fix this, you really need to prioritize self-care, right? And your personal well-being. Because if you are doing too much, maybe you've taken on too much. Some of us are working full-time jobs. We have extra activities in the evening. We may have committed ourselves to clubs or other institutions that we have to show up for even on the weekends. It's okay to step back and say, you know what, maybe I've taken on too much. Maybe I need to kind of dial this back a little bit because I'm always tired and I'm always feeling exhausted. And if that is the case with you, then it's difficult to make decisions and prioritize what is important. So you may have to just reassess your workload and look at the commitments that you've taken on, if it's really something that you can continue to do while prioritizing your own mental and physical well-being. Reason number 3, comparing ourselves to others. And I have been guilty of this for sure. Unhealthy comparisons is something that plagued me, especially in my early 20s. I would be looking at others and thinking that, you know what, I'm just not achieving enough. I wanted to be successful and I wanted to do it quickly. I wanted to drive a nice car quickly. I wanted to live in a nice home. And that just was not happening in my early 20s, right? I just could not afford to do the things I saw other people doing. Everybody is on a different journey, and you have to respect your own journey. It does not mean it will not happen to you. And truthfully, a lot of the people that I was comparing myself to were obviously further along in their career, in their life, and could do different things. And especially now with social media, where we're seeing the highlights of everybody's life, I think by now we know that we're seeing, the great things. We're not necessarily seeing the struggles. And a lot of the times, what we're looking at social media isn't even real. And persons are comparing themselves to what they're seeing people put out there on social media, which we really should not do. Focus on your own journey, right? Appreciate your own successes. Don't forget to celebrate your own accomplishments instead of paying attention to what we think others are doing or where they are at a certain point in their lives, right? You don't know everything that's happening in their life. You really need to just stay focused on your own journey of success. Reason number 4, fear of failure. Sometimes we feel like failures before we even try. And that's because we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of failing because we're worried about not living up to our own expectations or living up to the expectations of other people. And to fix this, what we need to do is kind of embrace it. We have to just go ahead and embrace failure because we know that we are not perfect and mistakes will be made. What is important is that we learn from every mistake so we can do better as we're moving along our own personal journey in life, right? That's what's going to be the important thing, and not making the same mistakes over and over. Use that fear of failure as motivation to keep trying and to keep doing. And once you start to experience the small wins after you've learned from your mistakes, don't forget to celebrate those. Reason number 5, negative self talk. I have one rule: I do not say negative things about myself. When you feel like a failure, it's easy to get caught or stuck in a negative cycle of thinking negatively about yourself, right? And honestly, sometimes it's as if one bad thought about yourself just attracts another bad thought and another bad thought, and before you know it, you're completely spiraling. We have a habit sometimes of just focusing on the mistakes that we made, right? And our shortcomings, and overlooking what we're strong at, overlooking the successes that we've had. To fix this, you need to practice positive self talk. You need to speak positively about yourself. You need to affirm yourself in a healthy way. You need to focus on your accomplishments and strengths and remind yourself of those accomplishments when you're feeling a little bit down. And you should also practice gratitude and focus on the good things in your life. Reason number 6, past failures. Now, this one is a tricky one. When you think about the mistakes of the past, you may get hung up on that feeling, right? And you may be haunted by that scenario, by that mistake, for a very long time if you keep replaying it and replaying it in your mind. What you have to know is that you're not defined by your past mistakes, right? And you may even be in a situation where you're around people that remind you of your past failures. And to fix this situation, what you need to do is choose the people in your circle very wisely, right? You may have to avoid people who constantly remind you of the mistake you made when you were a teenager, of the mistake you made when you were in your early 20s, because that's not going to be positive and helpful for you now. So you may have to avoid those people, and you should focus on the present moment. Focus on where you're going, what your goals are, right? And just not allow your past failures to hold you back, because that's done and that's gone. Right now what matters is the decisions you make moving forward. Reason number 7, seeking validation from others. Sometimes we feel like a failure because we're constantly wanting persons to validate us. And I understand, if you want your parents or, close family members and friends to celebrate you, to confirm that you're doing all the right things. But you have to be careful about that, and especially if it is leaning more towards just wanting to impress people all the time, right? To fix this, you need to be able to validate yourself, right? You want to be proud of your own accomplishments. There's nothing wrong with that. And regardless of whether or not others notice them, you can understand that you are achieving your own goals and you're headed in the right direction. Focus on your own journey and measure your success by the standards and the goals that you're setting for yourself, and not always wanting to look outside to impress others or to be validated somehow by someone else, because it just may not happen the way how you want it to. Remember, we're all on our own journey, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. Now, that's it for the video, guys. I do hope this was of some value for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Until next time, take good care. Bye bye.